Peace. This is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com. Oh, unbelievable.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, ye are God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, and thou shalt inherit all nations. Allahu Akbar.
What's up? What's up, Heru? Oh my God, it's good to see you, my brother. Good to see you.
This is Kadara Franks, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
We're going to get started in a second, brother.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
Just make sure everything right. Just make sure everything right. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
This is Adam Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
Thanks. Hey, man, I can't see you, though. You want to come on camera with me for a minute?
This is Adam Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy.
This is Marina, and this is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Modern technology. I get to chill with one of my big bros.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give
What's
a shout
up,
out
brother?
to Silver
Looking good, man.
All my Silver Nation out there. I want to give a shout
Looking
out to
good.
my mom.
You got your drink. We kicking it.
And I want to give a shout out to the people.
This is
of
my
generation
intro.
that's trying to do something
I start my intros off, and we get into the proverbs in a second. You know, we gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it taste just a little bit after the show, after the music goes.
This is Cleveland.
Okay, hold on. Can't hear you yet. Music's still playing loud.
Peace, Hotep. It's Mansour Hotep,
Man.
aka Mr. Diddy.
What my
Mr. Diddy,
glasses
does
at?
it sound good? I think it sounds
Hey, Vicky,
great.
can you look at my,
Right now, you're listening to
co-pilot, my
Gye-Nyame Journey
glasses?
Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name. This is Brother Hatim coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Shout out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family.
All right.
Stand up. Peace.
All right. I need to turn the music up a little bit more because I got some news. Oh my God, it's about to go down. Somebody else out there. Come on, fam. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Let me hear you. Let me see you.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry.
We're about to do it.
This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to Gye-Nyame Tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. And you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace. This is Gina.
This is Gina.
And you are now
Now you listen to my daddy.
on Gye-Nyame
Gye-Nyame Journey
Radio.
Radio.
Peace.
Peace.
Oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down, family. It's about to go down. All right, first off, I need to let you know you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey. I am your host, and this is Tribal Quotes. We are on day 9, and we will be coming from the Gye-Nyame Journey Handbook, a book compiled by myself, and we're going to discuss these proverbs. Oh, yes, and of course, you know this is a Heart of December production. Yeah. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. All right, family, check this out. First things first, before I introduce my special guest who has joined me at this point in time, let me tell you this, man. I figured out how to stream on YouTube. We streaming live on YouTube. We streaming live on Facebook. And I'm also doing a podcast, and it's popping off tonight. And I was blessed enough to turn on my show, and the very first person that popped up on the screen is one of my big brothers. I constantly, when I'm pouring libations, one of the reasons I start pouring libations, and I was thinking about Nomo, but I can't think about Nomo being in my life without thinking about this brother right here being in my life. So everybody that's around, I want to introduce you to my brother Heru. Hotel. All right, hey, take your applause, baby. Take your applause. You know what I'm saying? Hey. All right, brother Heru, how's everything going, man?
Hey, man, it's all butter, man. It's all great. Feeling great. How's everything with you, brother Hatem?
Oh, man, it's going slow but good. Slow but good. Now, I have one favor that I have to ask you. I posted up a number on the thing. The people can't hear you through this little speaker on my phone. But if you got a phone, call in at 614-556-4535 so the people can hear the fullness of your beautiful voice, my brother. You see the number? Shouts out to Robert Moss. 614. Yes, sir. Call in. I'm waiting for you because they could barely hear you on this thing here, and I got everything going through this big speaker right here, and I want them to hear you. I want them to get some of your wisdom. We about to kick it. So while we waiting for Brother Heru to call in, family, we're going to continue on with the show. Now, once again, I'm streaming on 3 different platforms. And hey, shouts out to Robert Moss for sharing the video. Now, this what I'm pouring right here is what we call that ambrosia. This is that ambrosia. That's right, that ambrosia. Wait, hold on. I'm not seeing nothing on my Uber conference. What up, Uber conference? Why you ain't? Is people okay? I'm on, but I'm waiting for Brother Heru to come in. What's going on here? There we go. Heru Ma Rock. He's on the line.
All right.
All right, brother. Now we got you live and direct. So Now they can hear you because some people come in later and some people just pick up on it altogether different. What's going on with you nowadays?
Oh man, just keeping my head to the grind, man, trying to get things done.
Man, but it's good to hear your voice. Now, so I call this show Tribal Quotes. And what I do is I have a list of quotes that I throw out and we discuss. And as usual, our ancestors always make it possible that every quote we've been doing on the show, we've been able to connect it to personal things in our lives or to things that's going on right now in the world. So we're going to read. Oh, you know who else is on the line? I mean, he's not on the line, but he's watching us live right now. Shouts out to the elder Robert Moss. You know what I'm saying? A long time soldier. I can't think about knowing what I'm thinking about him. And on top of that, I got a couple of his grandbabies going to my school. So, we living in blessed times, man. So, hey, now, Brother Heru, you want me to start off with the Proverbs? Or you want to rap a taste just a little bit more?
No, I just want to go ahead and I'll just chime in, man, where you invite me to, Brother Hatim. This is your thing, man. I've been wanting to check you out for some time. I just happened to be home tonight, relax and drink a little red wine, and I thought I'd check you out, man. I'm sure you got a lot of wisdom that you want to share.
Now, the rules of the show are very simple. I'm going to read the Proverbs. We're going to pick one, and we're going to work through them until about 10 o'clock. Feel free to jump in whenever you want to, because you never know what you need to say or want to say. You never know how that's going to affect the people out there. So here we go. We on day 9, and we are right before Kwanzaa. Matter of fact, before I even go into that, let's talk about Kwanzaa real quick. Coming up, for those that speak the language, coming up on Kuumba, which is creativity. That's the day of creativity. We are going to have a pre-Kwanzaa Zawadi event at the Rickenbacker Woods Learning Center, 1330 Livingston Avenue, 43205. It will be Kuumba, December 23rd, from 1 to 3 p.m. Bring the babies out. You come out. We are going to be making kanaras. We're going to be making the Zawadi, the gifts. We are going to be having a great time with our children and getting everything together. Oh, shouts out to the unsleeping one, Anubis. Welcome, bruh. I heard, you was going out of the country. Did you leave yet? Or, you still, or are you coming through Columbus during Kwanzaa? Or what's going on? All right. So, during the week of Kwanzaa, we got plenty of events. It's a family event. So, family. Make sure you come out. Joe Berry. You need to let's inbox, because I got some lemon limes that if you need to try, I got a bottle for you. You know what I'm saying? It's strong, because all this is medicine, is living medicine. All right, so Kwanzaa starts on December 26th, family. We've been raising money. We've been nation building. We've been eldering. We've been warrioring. We got it going on, family. This is going to be a powerful Kwanzaa. And I want to invite every last one of you out. It's important that I see your face in the place. The first night we got Brother Quojo and Sister Earth. They're going to be doing the MCing that night. Second night we got Herb Jallo and Brother Malik Willoughby. Come on out. Third night is Sister Earth and myself. Fourth night is Sister Earth and Brother Allende. Listen, family, it is going down this Kwanzaa. I want to see you there. We will be starting at 6 p.m. at the Martin Luther King Complex on Mount Vernon. Listen, you don't want to miss this Kwanzaa, especially with our boy, the great pumpkin in the White House. It's time for us to start building. It's time for us to start coming together. It's time for us to start nation building, because if we don't build for ourselves, nobody else would, nor should they. Black folks, we the only people that put everybody else in front of us. All right, baby, good night. It's time for y'all to go to bed. It's real life here in Gye-Nyame, family. It's real life. Brother Nuba say, no, on Saturday I was definitely planning on coming down, but once I get back, I will head down your way. All right, brother. And I'm brewing a large batch of ambrosia because I'm taking it to Kwanzaa for the Karamu. And now, I ain't going to tell y'all when the Karamu is. You just got to come to Kwanzaa and find out. Because I know some of y'all coming for that free chicken and fish. Y'all ain't got nobody food. But if that's what it's going to take to get you in the place, then hey, we going to have it. All right, so here we go. To the Proverbs. Because I've been joined by Brother Heru. Shouts out to Joe Berry. Shouts out to Brother Anubis. Shouts out to Robert Moss again. And, of course, shouts out to Brother Heru. We got 5 people on the line. We about to kick it. Here we go. Day 9. Now, for those that don't know how to work the book, I'll explain that in a second. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied, it is the most potent instrument of action. That's by Mohandas Gandhi. Proverb number 2 of the day. One day in retrospect, the year of struggle. One day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. One day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Sigmund Freud. That shit shocked me, right? All right. Because I'm surprised he ain't talk about some sex repression shit there. But hey. All right. Last but not least, whispering will be followed by hiding, then stealing. That's a Kenyan proverb. So, Brother Heru, you the guest. You pick a random number between 1 and 3, and that'll be the proverb we gonna chew on right away.
Proverb number 2 was the one that struck my spirit. That's the one I'd like to spend some time focusing on tonight.
Listen, why? See, because check this out, family. This is how you know somebody your brother. Because I was thinking about Proverb 2 because he called in. Family. In retrospect, one day in retrospect, the year struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Right? Now, oftentimes we avoid struggle. Oftentimes we avoid hard times. Oftentimes we avoid conflict. Right? And in doing that, we often miss the fact that we develop the best memories, the best stories. And some of us become legends from those struggles and those hard times. When I think back in my life personally, some of the best times I ever had was with the brother that's on the line right now. And we struggled together. We lived together for a while. We built the Underground Railroad together. We worked hard. We did the food co-op. We studied together. We went camping together. We trained young men in the skills of warriorship. And all those are fond memories to me. Right? But at the time, it was hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we wasn't getting paid. We worked on a job where we would go a month without getting paid. Right? And those type of memories, family, those types of struggle are the most beautiful for me. And they motivate me and push me to do my best now. Because one of the things that I learned during those times is the saying that I often say to y'all. One day I'm going to laugh about this shit. It was times when we was sitting up there in the trenches where I'd be like, God damn, I don't know how we going to make it through this shit here. Oh, man, the world about to end. Right? But then we sit down and maybe a week later we be laughing about it. And sometime when we get together now, we laugh about it. Family, stop avoiding struggle. See, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about nation building. Check this out, family. In order for us to get where we need to be as a people, a group of us, groups of us, tribes of us are going to have to get together and struggle together. When we struggle together and when we work together, we build memories. Now, what's important about these memories? From these memories come stories. From these stories come the folklore of the people, family. See, right now, we want to talk about ancient history. I love Kemet. I love Kush. I love Nubia. I love Ghana. I love Mali. I love Shanghai. I love Zimbabwe. But all that is in the distant past. The things that I could grab onto right now that can keep me going is not just going and get glimpses of that stuff that I could read about, but the very things that I struggled with in my life and the people that I struggled with in my life. That's what nation building is about. That's what wealth building is about. That's what family building is about. It's about us coming together and struggling together and being able to look back on those times and telling those stories to our children and pass that on. And like after 2 or 3 generations of telling those stories, what start to happen, family? This is what start to happen. What starts to happen is that the stories that you told your kids eventually become the legends that they try to live by. And that's very important, family. But we ain't gonna get there if we don't struggle. And struggling by yourself is not enough, because listen, the way they beat us is because we the only ones that believe in the rugged individual. Although everybody else talking, everybody else is working as groups. You know what I'm saying? They're working as groups. We trying to get it as an individual. And it's not working.
You better not take that upstairs.
Excuse me. It's real life here, Gye-Nyame family. It's real life. But, so that's my thoughts on it. Brother Heru, you got something you want to share about it?
Peace, Padre.
Brother Heru. Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got something you want to share?
Yeah, when I heard the proverb, it just kind of crystallized, kind of like this vein of studying that I've been engaged in for about the last 10 or 12 years, and that is desire comes out of contrast. And your use of the word struggle and my use of the word contrast are the same thing. So desire sets us up to then point ourselves in a certain direction and set goals. You see? So out of the contrast, when you were talking about how we struggled, and we did. We gave up a lot. We sacrificed a lot. And out of that, we got a feeling of how good life could be. And then both of us, in our own way, we set out to bring that about. So when I heard the proverb, all I could think was, that's exactly where I am. Out of the contrast, out of the struggle, a desire to have something different than what you were struggling with. And then that sets your direction. And as long as you stay true to that and work toward that, whatever it is that comes out of that contrast, you can make manifest. So one of the things that I've learned is, because I'll be perfectly honest, I got tired of waiting on everybody to get on the same page at the same time. And I realized that birds of a feather really do flock together. And so if we chart a course for ourselves, there will be some that will identify who are also charting that same course, and that will be the group that you work with. But we can't necessarily expect everybody to get on the same page at the same time.
Word.
Which, while we circle the wagons and wait for them to get on the page at the same time, there's a lot of valuable time that's lost that we could be building, but we're waiting for other folks to catch up to us.
Hey, see, because, man, listen, dude, I had to give up on the whole, because we was so bad ideas about the idea of unity. You know what I'm saying? Because, because for a fact that as we were growing and doing our work, we had many people that looked like us that kind of threw up some roadblocks on the stuff that we was doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
right,
we all don't have to be, because I said this to, somebody said, man, Brother Hatim, we got to be on the same page. I said, no, we don't. We can at least be in the same book. Hell, you know, the way you talking, I'm kind of happy we in the same library. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, it's like some people, everybody got their camp, and this is what was important about what we did with the underground. We showed that you could build a tribe. You know what I'm saying? Right now, a hot thing on the internet is the term tribe. We built a tribe while other people was theorizing about the shit. We was able to do stuff because we believed in each other's capabilities, and we moved out of each other's way. The major thing that I don't even think anything held us back, because we grew, and now we to a point now where it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, you got to come and see. Actually, you've been up in there. You see the work that we continue, and I see you with your videos up there still doing the hustling, man. You know what I'm saying? We still carrying on that spirit. The work is still being done. Now with this Kwanzaa,
right?
This Kwanzaa and what we're gonna start doing with this Kwanzaa and moving forward, brother. We about to build some memories that's out this world. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to leave these things. See, because people don't understand, man, the importance of your story, the importance of the narrative that you leave behind. See, some people just die and just go away. You know what I'm saying? But if we are going to build something that lasts, we can't just die and go away. We have to leave a foundation. Right. We have to leave a legacy. And that's struggle. That's hard. You know what I'm saying? So, I see my daughter's trying to get in trouble, but that's cool, Sasha. All right. Pick a number between 1 and 3. We're going to move to the next proverb. Shouts out to Naichi Dominguez. Also, shouts out to Brother Joe Berry. And yes, that is this Kuumba. You know, I can't say that word because I don't feel like doing no push-ups. A number between 1 and 3. Either Heru could do it or one of y'all out there that's listening. It's on you, Heru, 1 or 3.
Let's go with number 3.
All right. Whispering will be followed by hiding, then stealing. Brother Anubis, this is a brother in spirit with us. He put up 3 because there's a slight delay in all this shit that we doing. So on Facebook, I'm at one point in the conversation. On YouTube, I'm on another point, and on Spreaker right now. Everything. I'm in 3 different time spaces at this point in time. Whispering will be followed by hiding, then stealing. Do you want to go first on that one, or you want me to hit it? Joe Berry said 3. Brother Heru. All right, cool. I hit it.
Yes, sir.
I said,
repeat, because I'm hearing a lot of kind of a background noise. Go ahead and repeat the proverb, and then I'll touch on it and interpret it the way that it comes across to me.
Yes, sir. Whispering will be followed by hiding, then stealing.
Whispering will be followed by a lot of.
Whispering will be followed by hiding and stealing. Stealing, yep.
I don't know. Maybe I felt the need to have that interpreted.
I started off. You want me to start off?
Yeah. Start that one off.
All right. Whispering will be followed by hiding, then stealing. Now, what this one is talking about for me is building. I mean, everything talks to me about nation building. But the whole piece is when we're trying to build a tribe, when we're trying to build something that's going to last, we got to watch for the first thief. The first thief is whispering. See, because if you think about a lot of organizations that we have been in different directions, shit always starts with the whispering. What's the whispering? The whispering is talking about somebody, but you don't want them to hear you talking about them. talking about situations, but you don't want everybody to hear. So you start doing that, you know, we start whispering, right? We're starting to keep secrets from each other. We're talking about each other. We backbiting each other. So if we want to formulate and have a healthy organization or a healthy family or a healthy tribe or a healthy nation, we gotta crush a lot of that whispering. Sometimes whispering is necessary. But we must understand that when the whispering starts, it is followed by the next thing that's in this proverb. After the whispering is the hiding. So now, we can remember organizations where first people would be dissatisfied, but they wouldn't tell the people of the group, or they wouldn't tell the person that they was dissatisfied with. Then they would just start hiding. Which meant that if they played an important part in their organization, if they played an important part in the family, if they played an important part in the tribe, that job that they were doing would end up being undone, which will set the organization back. After the hiding, you have the next level, which is the stealing. So when you have people whispering, one person start whispering, two people start whispering, three people start whispering, people start hiding. What comes from all of this is an environment that is conducive for somebody to steal. When you steal from the group, you stealing from, you know what I'm saying? You stealing from the group. You know what I'm saying? And people start learning how to justify that shit, because you start seeing, you can see that real good now. Everybody just, it's about the money. I got to get mine. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. Motherfuckers be looking for justifications to make them feel good about their ways. But whispering, hiding, and stealing are three of the major things that shut down any organization. And us coming from an oppressed people, we do a lot of whispering because we couldn't really talk about the master in his face. There's a story, there's an old folk tale where a guy was talking to, and during our captivity, old Joe was talking to his partner. And he looked at his partner, he said, you know, master with his white ass made me mad. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't believe that he had the audacity to talk to me in the way that he talked to me. So what I did was I gave master a piece of my mind. I told him and I cussed him from this end of Mississippi to the other end of Mississippi. And Joe's friend looked at him and said, for real? Said, I sure did. So Joe's friend just got embarrassed by master, so he went up to master and he cussed master the fuck out. And master got the overseers and beat this man within an inch of his life. And after he healed up, he came back to Joe. He said, Joe, I took your advice. Joe said, what advice? I went up and I cussed the master out. And he almost killed me. How did you get away with it? Well, let me tell you how. You know that spot way over there? You see the mountains over there? Yeah, I walked over to those mountains. And I walked up on the top of the mountain. You know where they grow that corn, the dark corn? I went down after I climbed the mountain, down to where they grew that dark corn. I looked around, I made sure that I was by myself, and I cussed master's ass out. Bringing it back to the story, family. Bringing it back to the story. I can't even remember why I told the story. I just like telling stories. I don't even remember why I told the story. But the point is, by us not being honest, we lead people in the wrong direction. By us starting to whisper rather than being bold enough. And see, because a lot of times we give into peer pressure and we just start whispering rather than standing up as men and starting to check each other. We let a lot of shit go on. Think about this, man. There's two major things that break up our organizations: money and pussy. well, I ain't gonna say money and sex. Because, it ain't just the men getting women, women getting men. We living in a totally different time now. Two major things that break up our organizations: money and sex. What leads to these things? Whispering and hiding. Now, stealing doesn't just mean that you're stealing money. Stealing means that you're stealing time from an organization. Stealing means you're stealing resources from the organizations. Stealing means you're stealing members from the organization. You know what I'm saying? Stealing comes in many different forms. Stealing means taking something that does not belong to you and trying to make it your own. Taking something without permission. A lot of times we steal from the very things that are trying to build us up because we don't know no better. We've been accustomed. So now I remember why I told the story, because in our community, we're so used to whispering because we haven't really broke the mind state that master is now watching. We don't have masters like that no more. Masters. See, that's why master, it was always master, it was never master, right? Back then, we was living in time of master. Now we're living in time of masters. Right? And we have to be, as good students, we have to be able to be honest with those masters in our community, because whether you want to call them or not, some of these pastors are master speakers. They are master people motivators. And we have to be honest enough with them to talk to them. And sometimes that means you might have to be removed from the group, but at least you're not. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing the right thing, when you stand up to talk rather than to whisper in the congregation, those people who feel you going to leave with you. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't, you don't need those type of cowards around you anyway. So we have to stop the whispering. We got to start learning to communicate with each other. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm whispering to you about me and your issue. You know what I'm saying? So whispering will be followed by hiding. That hiding is when we creep into each other's house and we having meetings after the meetings or meetings before the meetings and shit like that. And then we going from talking to where there's other things that's happening. We're hiding things that we're doing. We got multiple relationships in the organization that we know that if somebody find out, the whole goddamn organization is going to blow up. It's like we got a lot of self-destructive behaviors that we have to really start working, and we really got to start analyzing so that we can really do some true tribe building. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at a lot of our sisters can't stand other sisters because they've been programmed not to like each other. Just like with us as men, we get along, but we got to find ways to make it so that we could bring the women folk together so that we could start having some peace. Because as you well know, Heru, some of the best builders that we have ever had in our lives has been women. But it's hard. Right. But it's hard. It's hard to keep that whispering and that hiding down. You know what I'm saying? But that comes with some of us being men enough to learn how to control ourselves. So that we don't have to whisper and we don't have to hide. And if I'm not whispering and if I'm not hiding, then it's more than likely I'm not creating an environment where I can steal. That's one of the things I really missed about the underground, man, because with other organizations, because I had some other organizations, because all of them was just a continuation of the underground and Mac and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I always try to carry what I learned from the last experience to the next evolution. To now, where right now I'm able to talk to one of my brothers who was with me on the underground, now on the new phase of the family. We on Gye-Nyame journey now. Shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's about building. And I can't build if I got people whispering around me. I can't build if I got people hiding around me. I can't build if I got people stealing from me. And stealing from the organization. And stealing from the family. See, and many of us, we do this privately. You know what I'm saying? We start having those thoughts in our heads. We start whispering to ourselves, this is too good to be true. So let's get it off the organization. Let's get it on us far as the success that we want in our lives. Many of us, we start whispering to ourselves, this shit too good to be true. Oh man, something got to go wrong soon. You know what I'm saying? This just don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Even though everything going good, this just don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? We start whispering to ourselves. Then we start hiding from opportunities that we have to shine. Many of us, we've been taught, see, and that this comes from our struggle with our captivity as well. We were taught not to shine because shining meant that you was violating the very first law of the 48 laws of power, outshining your master, outshining your owner, outshining those who are older than you. You know, because one of the major struggles that we had with the underground was that some folks thought that we was trying to outshine them when we was just trying to supplement what they was doing. So if we bring it back to a personal level, right? Sometimes we hide our shine. We start hiding who we really are because we want everybody else to feel comfortable. But I'm going to tell you this, family. You can never go to the next level if everybody around you is comfortable. And if you are comfortable. Because this goes back to the second proverb. One day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Struggle. It brings us back to the essence. You know what I'm saying? If I'm hiding from struggle, if I'm hiding from conflict, if I'm hiding from shining my light, because often when you shine your light, it's going to bring struggle and it's going to bring conflict into your life because you're going to have some people trying to put that out. And to avoid us from running to that, sometimes we dim our light. We turn our light down. We flame off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We don't like to let that light shine. And when we do that, we start stealing from our future. We start stealing from our children. I need y'all to understand this, man. This as African people, we have to understand we exist in a continuum. We exist in the past, we exist in the present, we exist in the future. Everything we do in this moment right now, believe it or not, affects the past, affects how other people look at the past, and it also affects our future. So we're moving in a continuum, and we are stealing from our children when we don't shine, when we are not who we supposed to be as an individual and as a group. As a group, you know what I'm saying? We have become satisfied with seeing us run across the screen and catch a ball rather than, you know what I'm saying? We become satisfied with that. And we got to break that shit because that's not the only thing we could do. You know what I'm saying? Acting and we need to maximize that shit. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying get away from it. Let's maximize it. But a lot of us are stopping our shine because we want everybody else around us to feel comfortable. And it's time for us to break that shit. Because as nation builders, as warriors, we know that if I am not doing my best, if I'm not shining, I affect everything around me. I'm stealing. Most of y'all have stolen your children's legacy because you are satisfied in being where you are. You have become comfortable. You have been whispering to yourself, and you've been hiding from yourself, and now you're stealing the legacy that you're stealing and living off the legacy that you're supposed to be leaving for your children. I'm gonna stop right there, brother Heru. You want to take it?
Yeah, you know, as I was listening, I was waiting for the right time.
Don't wait.
When I heard that whispering, if you think about a partial action, if you're not fully committed to something, I mean, because a whisper really is a conversation at half volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whispering, when you talk about action, is a half action.
Damn.
And anytime you don't all the way commit to something, you're not going to produce at the level that you desire. So all you're going to be able to do, you're going to be required to lie and steal.
Damn.
Because there's others that are watching you. There's others that are watching you that think that's your full action. But you know it's not. So your yield is not a full yield. It's a partial. It's insufficient. You see?
Word.
So we can't whisper with our actions. We have to speak loudly, and we have to speak boldly. That will erase the need to lie or to steal to cover for what we haven't produced.
Damn.
I mean, that's the way it comes across to me. So we don't want to whisper. I mean, for me, Brother Hatim, I know we haven't crossed paths, we haven't seen. The beautiful thing is we don't have to see each other every day to be on the same wavelength. Because we know that all that is us on the same wavelength anyway.
Word.
So seeing each other is only part of it. But it's the living the principles, man. It's the having those thoughts, you know what I'm saying? The striving for righteousness, for bringing life to those laws of Mayat. We don't have to see each other every day to know that that's happening. But we have to speak loudly with our actions. We can't have no half-stepping.
No half-stepping, damn.
Half-step. Because when you half-step, and just think about anything you've ever done half-heartedly. You ended up having to borrow or steal from somewhere else to fill in the void because your half-stepping did not yield the desired result. You know what I mean? So when I think about the proverb, we can't whisper. Now, when you address the proverb, we don't need to be doing that kind of whispering either. We don't need to be talking about people behind their back. We don't need to be, because that's all negative. And that which you think about the most is what you're going to produce. So if you're whispering about somebody, you're likely to bring that on yourself. And you don't want that. You know? So, as I sat here listening to the proverbs, that's what came across to me, man. We can't, and you know what? As a people, we can't afford to do anything half-step no more. First of all, there's so few of us that are in lockstep. Those of us who are in lockstep, we really cannot half-step. Matter of fact, we have to increase our effort to make up for those who ain't even coming along yet. You see? So that's pretty awesome, man. We can't whisper with our actions. We can't whisper with the desires that we want to have fulfilled. And we can't whisper with the belief in ourselves that we must have to make those things we desire a reality.
Hold on, family. Hold on. So you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey. This is Tribal Quotes, and this is a Heart of a Simple production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Brother Heru just struck us with that lightning. Ain't no half stepping. You know what I'm saying, family? Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here on the journey. Now, last and final proverb for the night. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied is the most potent instrument of action. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied, it is the most potent instrument of action. Man, you want to go first or you want me to go first? Hold on. Maybe somebody out there. Y'all heard this one. Maybe I think it's speaking to somebody out there. Feel free to call in to 614-556-4535. All right, 614-556-4535. All right. So I want to send shouts out to Marte Edwards. Shouts out to Joe Berry. Shouts out to the unsleeping one, Anubis. Shouts out to Naichi Dominguez. What's up, brother Naichi? Shouts out to Robert Moss. Of course, shouts out to my guest today, brother Heru Ma'at Ra. All right, so here we go, family. Here we go. Last one for the night. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied, it is the most potent instrument of action. You want that one first, Heru, or you want me to chew that motherfucker up?
Wow, I tell you, why that's flowing in my mind, I would tell you, I think prayer is probably the most misunderstood tool we have. Because I say that because we've been raised to believe that prayer is asking for something. Asking for, Lord, give me this. Oh, I hope this. Asking for some third party to provide us with something. But when you come into the full understanding of what prayer is thanking the all that is for what it is you're desiring to have manifested in your life. Prayer, and that's probably why we haven't moved real far in the last 100 and some years, because of the misinterpretation and the misunderstanding of what prayer is. See, if I was to put it in an example, Brother Hatim, if I wanted to increase my income, many people under the old way of praying would say, Lord, I want to increase my income, right? Mm-hmm. But when you come into the full understanding of what prayer is, you would say, Lord, I give you thanks for the abundance which is mine, and then you would act and live out as if that increase has already come. Because then it will come. But it don't come from just saying, Lord, I want, and you can exchange the word Lord for whatever deity or whatever word you would use. And I say this not as a theory, but I can tell you in my own life that I've seen it work, and that I see it work daily, and that I am the master of my own universe, and I can create daily that which I pray for, because I pray differently. I ask not that I be given something, but I assume that which I already want is here, and I'm thankful for it. And then then the action part of that is, Brother Hatim, I walk like that which I desire has already manifested in front of me. And it's amazing how it continues to happen over and over and over and over. So I think that as we as a people, as soon as we will redefine what prayer is, and act differently, we will be blown away with the things that we desire, including true freedom, will manifest right before our very eyes.
Brother Joe Berry says, I always say praying is when you talk to God, but meditation is when you listen to what God have to say. Now, we're talking about a dude by the name of Mohandas Gandhi. I know a lot of us black folks who really understand the history of early Gandhi in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? We feel a certain type of way about Mohandas Gandhi. But this was a quote that hit me one morning. And Anubis says, sounds like Taoism. Because prayer is not, it says, prayer is not an old woman's auto amusement. Properly understood and applied is the most potent instrument of action. When we pray, we are putting our thoughts in line. We are projecting mental energy into the world or into communion with something higher than ourselves. We can say something higher than ourselves, right? But I'm working and I'm applying my thoughts. And through these thoughts and through me acting on these thoughts, because the key piece that he uses in here, and like you said yourself, Brother Heru, properly understood and applied, because at some point in time, for Gandhi's movement, Gandhi had to adjust the idea of prayer, because oppressed people often look at prayer as beggary. Oh Lord, please, God, forgive me for my sins. I'm begging, I'm pleading. You know what I'm saying? When in fact, prayer is a communication tool with that higher power. It brings you into communion. I'm looking at one of the definitions for prayer. It said to enter into spiritual communion with God or an object of worship through it. Right? So prayer helps you commune with a greater part of yourself, with something bigger than you. And in being able to commune with that thing, you are able to do as Heru says, you are able to bring things into your life or recognize those things that were already there. Oftentimes, we're praying for something and we're praying for it as if it's out there. When in fact, what we are doing, what we are supposed to be doing, we are supposed to be bringing something out of ourselves so that we can go and get what we want, or we can create what we want, or we could walk into the reality or walk in the reality that we want. That's the true power of prayer. And it's a conversation. It's not a begging thing. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, we have become so damn humble. We have become so damn humble that we are totally satisfied with begging for everything that we get. At what point in time are we going to start demanding? Prayer is a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's a conversation that should be dealing in a sense of reciprocity. I talk to people all the time. I say, because with my kids at school, they be like, Uncle Hatim, or you my dad, or you my uncle, and blah, blah, blah. I say, listen, we could be all that. But I need you to understand the 3 R's of relationship. The what? Respect, responsibility, and reciprocity. In any relationship that we have in our life, there should be respect. The other person, y'all need to respect each other. There need to be some responsibility for both parties in that relationship. And there's reciprocity. What we have developed is we have developed a relationship with a being where there's no reciprocity. What comes, comes. And I don't think that's fair to us. You know what I'm saying? After 400 years of the shit that we went through, it's time for us to start demanding You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't, if you as a being or a higher being can't provide that shit, maybe we might need to be looking somewhere else. Maybe we might need to be directing our spiritual energy, our mental energy someplace else.
I got a question.
Uh-oh. Welcome to the mic, brother Shaka Hasbury. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I hear Christians, well, you know.
It ain't just Christians, though, but go ahead.
You're right. I'm using them as an example because, you know, out of popular demand, you know, Christ wants us to pray. And the piece is about that. Does he really? Because when it comes to the signs of the believers, even in his own words, in Mark 16, he says, and these signs shall follow. And there's three things that he said. Very explicit details. Cast out serpent and not be something to the extent of being immune to the serpent's venom. You know, but none of those things had anything to do with prayer. Is it, Hatim, an essential process to spiritual alignment or spiritual healing? Is prayer necessary?
Yeah. I mean, I would say personally, because like I said.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Prayer.
Brother Hatim, if I might.
Go ahead, bro.
When it's, you know, part of the challenge that we have is that we base everything off of what we were taught.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little new that we've gravitated to. So if you base it on slave-based Christianity, then yes, because it was prayer that allowed you to get through and hope that tomorrow everything would be better. But when you really understand what prayer is the ability to tap into the God in you, because that's really the only God that exists, and to bring out that which you desire. So again, prayer is not asking for. Prayer is assuming that whatever it is on your spirit that you desire, you already have. Because everything that is already is, you just have to come into alignment with it for it to manifest in your reality. So when we redefine and unlearn the old way or the old definition of prayer and understand that it means any desire that you have to increase or to improve your life comes out of your higher self. And if it comes out of your higher self, then that means you can have it. Anything you can conceive in your higher self, you can achieve. But you have to believe that it's already here. So if we redefine prayer, then we already know it's here. And so gratitude is the oil that we use to pave the way, man. You just have to know that whatever it is, and I don't care if it's material, or you could say, I want a new car. You could say, I want a new house. You could say, I want a new woman in my life, and just be thankful for it long before it ever shows up. So when you redefine prayer the way it should be, absolutely prayer is essential to achieving anything.
You know, sometimes I talk to myself while I'm processing. I talk to, especially when I'm doing things that I'm truly focused on. If I'm in the kitchen making a soup and I'm focused on the healing properties of this soup, that conversation started in the grocery store when I went to go get the ingredients. What do I need for this? I need some turmeric. I need some bam, bam, bam. And I go through this, and I realize that I do that not only so that I understand my process and I don't lose focus of my process, but so that my 7-year-old sees the process moving, and as he engages in that conversation, he starts to pick up on the things that I've forgotten. Dad, remember you said you needed to get this? Well, I do that, and the reason I bring that up is because that is the way that I address my my personal request for what I'm trying to manifest. I need this suit because I need my body to, whatever. All right, I need to go through this detox right now, so I need this soup. Bam, here it is. Now, on a collective level, prayer, the power of prayer is mostly a collective will and a collective request into the universe, which is fortified by the power of belief. And so when people ask me if I believe, for example, if I believe if Christ is real or if he's made up, he's definitely real. Not because I can prove historically where he walked or I carry a shroud or anything like that. But when I look at the works that he's performed in the hearts of his believers and on such a wide spread, the power of the belief of Christ is very, very real. When I look at my own grandmother, Christ was her God. So, but when she fasted on Wednesday, that wasn't a thing because Christ said fast on Wednesday. That was her own sacred thing that kept her connected and kept her grounded. And I feel that when it comes to those particular practices, just like prayer and things like meditation and fasting and so forth, they all follow suit. What do you think, Hatem?
Hey, I'm like, y'all getting it because prayer is a process. When you're talking to yourself, that's prayer. I mean, because isn't prayer talking? Prayer is about communication. See, because part of redefining prayer, we have to first, I think, go a little bit deeper and redefine spirituality. Spirituality is about relationships. It's about maintaining a relationship with a higher power, with your brother, with your wife, with your son. The highest form of spirituality is about maintaining relationships. And what is prayer? Prayer is communion or communicating with others in that relationship. When I talk to God, I'm having a conversation about what I want and about what's going on with me, what's moving in me. And it sets a process of motion. This is why Gandhi talks about it being a potent instrument, because it allows you, by you having this conversation, it allows you to refine and be a little bit more clear about what you want. A lot of us don't get the answers to our prayers because we are not focused enough to manifest it. This week,
I agree.
This week I want a blue car. Next week, red cars strike my fancy. No, I don't want a car now. I want a woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not focused as a group of people or as individuals. But usually what's going on with the individual, what's going on with us as individuals, we can see manifest in the group. So we got all this energy going in the wrong direction. And actually, because Heru used a very potent statement, a term, he said, a third party. It's sort of like we look at prayer and our spiritual relationship like capitalists. You know what a capitalist does, right? I'm looking for the cheapest relationships that I can have, that I could benefit from. So I outsource shit. We outsourced our spirituality. We outsource our prayers. You know what I'm saying? We send it to a third party. Rather than having a conversation with the person and the beings that you need to have the conversation with. You focus your energy. We focus our energy in the wrong direction. When Gandhi talking about using it as a potent instrument of action, he's talking about using his prayer and focusing them in a direction and being clear about what he wants so that he could take the actions, regardless of what the outcome is. When I'm praying, prayer should give you confidence. It should give you strength. It should give you courage to face those things that will be uncomfortable, because it's only through this struggle, because we talked about this in the first one. One day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful struggle. You know what I'm saying? I have to be willing to struggle. And when I pray, what I do is I strengthen myself. I strengthen myself to be able to go through the struggle to manifest what it is I want. In African tradition, in order to really get what you wanted, you always had to go through a trickster. You can find this in Native American spirituality too. The trickster's job was to see how bad you truly wanted it. Alegba, also known as Eshu. Also, over here we called him Brother Rabbit, Anansi. You know what I'm saying? These energies that in order to manifest, we had to go through. But because we have become so comfortable, we just want to lay back and we just want to say the words, not realizing that I got to get up and I got to move my ass. I got to get up and I got to hustle. I got to get up here and I got to grind. Just because I asked for it doesn't mean that it's just going to drop in my lap. I got to get out here and do the work. The prayer gets your mind focused so that you can do the work. That's why it's a potent weapon. Go ahead, bro.
I got a question for those who move by spirit. And what it is it has all to do with the power of words. The absence of words as well as the communication. For example, on one side of the coin, sometimes it takes a third party to act as a witness, especially when it comes to those things miraculous. We need a witness, all right, to be able to lock it in. Now, on the flip side, when you are doing something of a selfless nature, a good deed, a tremendous deed at that, maybe it's because I hold a certain standard to the way I go about things, but I feel like those things only count if you don't profess it. Things that you do in silence or in secret that are acts of altruism. To me, those are the things that a righteous individual does, not for the accolades of saying, "Man, I just gave that family the best Christmas they ever gonna have. 'Cause I showed up to their door with some food and they ain't had no food." Well, I feel like when something like that is done, what locks that in is your silence. Because the moment you start to take the glory from God, which once again is something eternal, then for some reason, for me, it doesn't count as much because you're taking credit for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Word. All right, so go ahead, bro. I mean, because it's past. We 20 minutes over. I try to keep it to an hour, family. I try to keep it to an hour. And we're 20 minutes over, but it's been a pleasure conversating with y'all. I got two of my brothers. I got Shaka Hasbury, the great musician, and I got Heru Ma Ra, the great designer, right? And
Righteous.
I want to send out shots to everybody. I want to let y'all know you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey. This has been the, I was about to say the Daily Toast. This is Tribal Quotes. And we broke down 3 of the Proverbs, but it's not over yet. Because this is our opinions. I want to hear what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? So those of you that may listen to this later, take some time. Think about each one of the Proverbs. Share your wisdom because you never know how what you have to say may affect somebody. And it's a Harvest Summer production. But we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Come and say it, baby.
Okay.
Hurry up.
When we strive to blow up your old paradigm.
I'm out, family.
Peace.
All right, peace, y'all.
Love you, bro.
Love you, too. You take it easy.